Hi, my name is El-achkar, and the design pattern that I chose is the Iterator pattern. So let's begin. So the intent. So the iterator is used to pass through a container, an abstract data type, and access the container's elements. And it makes sure to do that without exposing its underlying representation. So polymorphic iteration is used to make sure to access these elements without exposing its underlying representation. So if we go, so the motivation. The iterator pattern is to access and pass through objects of the collection and put it in the iterator object. And that will maintain the state of the iteration, keeping track of the current item and having a way of knowing what elements are next to be iterated. So the best way to think about this is to review remote, like the next and previous buttons. It's a really great illustration of how it would work. So the structure and consequences. So this is pretty much all definitions, but just to go over it. So the aggregate, it's the interface for creating an iterator object. The concrete aggregate, it implements the iterator creation to return the instance of the concrete iterator. The concrete iterator implements the iterator interface and keeps track of the current position in the traversal. And the iterator is the interface for accessing the elements and traversing them. So just to put it in simple words, really, over here retrieving the items from the concrete aggregate, here it's getting implemented, over here it's getting implemented, and here's where it's getting created. So that's really it. Very simple. Retrieve the items from the concrete aggregate, it gets implemented here, it gets implemented here, and this is where it gets created. So the consequences of the structure: simplifies the interface of the aggregate, supports multiple concurrent traversals, and supports different traversal techniques. So the introduction to the code. So basically the code is based off like a collection of games, and the best way to think of this is like a lot of gamers out there on YouTube that play different games. So I thought this would be a great way to illustrate the iterator pattern using this example. So let's begin with that. Okay. So basically what we want to do is we want to get like the top information. We want to get information from the top games in the 1990s, 2000s, and 2010 from now till now. So pretty much like every decade. And we want to get that information about those games from YouTube gamers who play video games on those channels. So that's why this would be a good example. And we want to provide an object which is based off of game info, and it has three things: the game name, the company name, which is like the developers, the company name, and the year it was released. And basically what will be used would be an add function, and which will use get popular games, which will return the collection of games. So yeah, right over here we're pretty much returning the game name, the company name, and the year it was released. So that's just a really good overview of what's gonna happen. So the first thing is the array list. So just to point this out, like these games, they're just random games. Like I've played them, or some games I've just looked up. So that's why I've placed them. They're not popular or anything like that. It was just based off my knowledge. So just to make things faster and easier for myself, just a heads up. Okay, so here we have the array list, game info, popular games. So this array list holds the game info objects. And like I said, these are the different games. So in this case, these are the games in 2000s. Sly 2, GTA, Max Payne, different games. And right over here, we have the public vote add games, so which is composed of the name, company name, and the year it was released. So basically what we're doing is we're adding the game info object to the end of the array list. So if we go further down right here, this is the public array list, game info, get popular games. So basically what this does is it's going to return us the array list filled with the game info objects. So that's that. So this one, here's the next one. This is for games in the 2000s. So here basically what we're going to be doing is creating an array of game info objects, and see, we have these games: Mafia 2, Far Cry 3, Evil Within. These are the games from 2010 up till now. And here's the function: add game, game name, company name, year release. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to increment this to the next position in the array. That's really what we're doing with that. And that's really it with that. If we proceed further on, this one's gonna involve a hash table. So here we're creating a hash table with an int as a key and game info objects. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be incrementing this hash key. So these are games in the 90s: Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil. And here's the function: void add game. Like I said, game name, company name, year release. And basically what we're going to be doing is adding a new game info object to this function. So we're adding a new game info object to the hash table, and then basically we're going to be incrementing this. We're going to be incrementing the hash table key. And this right here, public hash table integer game, this is also replaced by the iterator, and I think I forgot to point that out. This as well. This is also replaced by the iterator as well. Forgot to mention that. Okay, so if we go further, we have. So this is the class of YouTube subscriber, or the So basically, what's gonna go on here is. Here, it's a new way to basically initialize the iterators. Now, if we go further down, right here, because the game info objects, they're stored in different collections, everything has to be handled on an individual basis. Now, that's not a good way to do this. That's one of the biggest issues. So that's where an iterator pattern would help. So to go further, if we see in this code, it's important to look right here. So basically what we're doing is we're going to clean it up. So pretty much what we can do is we can treat this as an iterator and clean it up, and the code will allow the user, so me, to treat all the collections as one. So we don't have to do everything on an individual basis. We just treat it as one. So that's why this also cleans up a lot of code, makes it very easy to get. And so this right here pretty much talks about the channel, really. So YouTube subscriber, so this is just a random name, and the games, and here we're showing the games, and that's the iterator. And well, see, so the expected output is it prints out all the information for the games in the 1990s, 2000s, and now. I forgot to actually show this, but let me just go back. So basically all the output is going to do is, so the games in the 90s, it's going to print out this game, the developing company, the year, this game. It's going to do that for each decade. It's going to print out everything. This game, developing company, the year it came out. This game, developer company, and the year it came out. That's all. It's going to print out every single one that we have. So a total of 9 games and all the information about it. And if you go to the references, this is all the information I've used to complete this project. I also did a couple more, but that's really it. And that's the iterator pattern. Thank you so much.